Eric Sabag and his traveling companion are in Istanbul, Turkey, as part of a 2-month trip through Europe. They still have 7 days to get to Amsterdam, return their rental car, and catch their flight home. Here's a bad trip we call, when time is short, avoid Greece.
Looking at the map and figuring out how long it would take to drive, we realized that it would take, a good 3 or 4 days to drive straight there without stopping. So we gave ourselves a couple of days to see a couple of spots along the way, and that was basically going to be the end of our trip. So it was a really tight schedule.
A few countries separate Turkey from the Netherlands. The first, but by no means the least, is Greece.
Right when we got to the border, we were stuck in a lineup of cars that literally extended for 6 kilometers.
This is the very, very efficient border between Turkey and Greece.
How long is this going to take? I was thinking, it's going to take an hour, it's going to take a couple hours, something like that. It was about 50 degrees on the thermometer. Our car had no air conditioning.
We're like 6 kilometers away from the border. We're not moving. It's so annoying. We've been here already over an hour and a half.
Eric and his friend are beginning to feel the pressure. Clearing the 6-kilometer or nearly 4-mile long lineup at the Greek border ends up taking more than 5 hours.
Enough said. There's the border to Greece. I think. Unless that's to leave Turkey. That's to leave Turkey?
We haven't moved in 20 minutes.
And we haven't eaten yet today.
You go a little bit stir-crazy when you're waiting in a line like this because you're just sitting there in a hot car in hot temperature and nothing's happening. You start to get enraged. The way that I expressed my rage, I started to realize that I felt better every time I started to honk my horn.
Watch this.
And all of a sudden, as I'm doing this, I realized the car behind me is starting to honk. And then I realized the car in front of me is starting to honk. And before long, there's just a symphony of honks, just everybody going, bah, It was just a roar of honking.
Yeah, the rebellion is on.
It was funny because as soon as everybody started to realize that this made you feel better, nobody wanted to stop.
Now Eric seems to be leading the rebellion.
After, a while of all this honking and getting used to the feeling of the rage building up, followed by it sort of subsiding while I honk, the rage had built up at one point, and I'm trying to honk, and I'm trying, and nothing's coming out.
You can't believe you killed the horn. It won't work. Oh, it won't work.
No! Hold on. Listen. That's our horn.
My voice of freedom was taken from me because my honk had unbelievably broken when I needed it most.
Maybe if we let it rest, it wants to rest. It's dark out, it's night, and we're still at the border. But there it is.
I remember telling my buddy, let's get ready, make sure, they're obviously going to search us. We've been leading the honk symphony for half the time. They clearly have their eye on us. We get there, and they're just like, yeah, no problem, sir. Go right ahead. And I was like, really?
Thank the Lord Almighty.
So basically, what should have taken 45 minutes took us 8 hours. And day one of our 2 days of potential adventure on our way back, gone.
Eric and his friend have lost a whole day. They need to think of a way to make up for their lost time.
If we were going to make it to where we wanted to go, which was Montenegro, we would have to basically boot it through Greece and get to Macedonia, boot it through Macedonia, and we'd be in Montenegro. We can't stop for sightseeing because we have a plane to catch in Amsterdam. Everything was going pretty smooth until we find ourselves in the mountains. And then we find ourselves, while we're in the mountains, we're in a little village. My buddy's like, this doesn't make any sense. We're going from one country to another down a major artery. Why are we in this little village?
We're trying to get to Macedonia, but we're really lost up in the Greek mountains. Maybe it is one of these dirt roads. No, this isn't it. Go back. Go straight. Go where we came from. Ask these people.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no. This is not possible. There was no roads there, was there? Was there any roads other than coming here?
Which way's Macedonia? There's no signs, there's tiny little roads.
Go see that sign over there. Okay, we'll film when we figure this out.
It had gotten dark at this point. We're driving through a field on a dirt road.
Still looking for Macedonia. Macedonia, where are you?
It turned out that we were on the right track, There was just a tiny little turn that we had to go down, and then we had to go down a little dirt road to get to Macedonia.
We made it! We were lost in the up northeastern corner of Greece for a whole 3 hours! Yay!
Macedonia is a small country, so we were expecting to drive through it for just a little bit of time to get to Montenegro. Sure enough, at the border, we ran into another issue.
This is as close to Macedonia as we're gonna get. You heard me right. We're not getting in because of T-foul. Right over there. Which ID card works for shit. And that guy won't let us in even though we're going in for a day. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just filming.
In their rush, the pair of travelers have overlooked one important detail: an entry visa to get into Macedonia.
So what do? We look at the map, and we look at how we can get to Montenegro, and we realize we got to go through Albania. And I remember looking at the book, the Lonely Planet book that we were traveling with, and basically at the top of the Albania section it says, look, don't go to Albania. Now we've got only 5 days left to catch that plane in Amsterdam. So we're driving through northern Greece thinking, oh, maybe this isn't going to be so bad. And I remember just looking all around, seeing everything look really nice. And then finally we get to Albania, we cross the border, and suddenly, as if an atom bomb had dropped, all those beautiful trees and scenery, gone. It just looked like a barren desert wasteland. The road instantly full of potholes. I'm looking on my right and I'm seeing a house filled with sticks and newspapers, literally built of that. Next to another house which was half completed. We're like sort of swerving out of the way of people that are riding donkeys with carts made of old beat up wood. It was crazy.
Oh, this is gonna be an eye-opening experience once again.
Sure enough, when we were on our way up this mountain swerving, for the first time on the entire road trip, we have a fender bender. There's a truck that sort of backs up into our door while we're waiting in line in a traffic jam.
Albania destroyed our car. Albania, by far, is the worst place I have ever been to in my entire life.
Because it's under communist rule, Albania is economically isolated and one of the poorest countries in Europe. That's evident in their neglected roads, something Eric learns firsthand.
Somehow, even though there's only one road, we get lost, and we end up on this dirt road in fields in a farmland or something. We try turning the car around. We're like, well, let's backtrack. We got to get back to this road. Right around then, the muffler falls off.
Yeah, just be nice and quiet. Now listen to this. Now, it's like we're getting ready for the F1 race.
At this point, we're basically driving a beat-up car through the worst area of a really bad country, and it happens to be the loudest car on the road. We're just driving. Everybody's like looking like, who are these guys that are driving this crazy car in our crazy country? You know what I mean?
After surviving the hell of Albania, the guys arrive in Montenegro, where they plan to stay overnight before they enter Croatia.
And we're thinking the worst has to be behind us. But within literally an hour of getting up and getting ready to go through Croatia, I remember seeing a forest fire off in the distance on my left. And I say to my buddy, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we had to go through the forest fire? Yeah, that's ridiculous. Good thing we don't have to go through that. Ha ha ha. We're done with our troubles. And sure enough, the road slowly turns until the forest fire is directly where we're going. Literally, we're in the forest fire. There's like fire trucks around. There's literally like a house with a fire raging within 10 feet of it. We didn't want to stop. We were ready to drive right through this forest fire because we had to get to where we needed to get.
This is wild. Oh my God. Look at this fire.
The firemen stop us and they say, sorry, this road is blocked. So we turn around and we go back to where we came from. There's like another road that we can take, and we start taking this other road and we start going up another way. And sure enough, the forest fire had managed to catch us before we were able to get through that road.
Guess what we're running into again? Another forest fire right in our way. It's like there's somebody planting forest fires so we can't leave the country.
And once again, the firemen stop us and they say, you can't go here either. So we start going on this other road. It's like we're basically going through a national park of some sort with our car. And once again, we see the forest fire in our way again, and we just can't believe, like, no, this can't be happening.
If that's another forest fire, I'll be upset.
So we're driving, and we actually managed to pass the forest fire that time, and it was done after that. There was no more.
We're back on the road, baby, and the forest fire is somewhere right over there. It's very close.
We finally did make it out of Croatia. And all this time, the only thing we're thinking about is that we have to catch that plane in Amsterdam. That's our only thing.
A clock running out of time, non-refundable airline tickets. It all adds up to the guys having to drive 24 hours non-stop to make their flight.
We went to Germany and decided to go through the Autobahn on purpose, knowing that there was no speed limit. Drove through the night through Germany and finally made it with literally an hour to spare in Amsterdam. Basically, we rented a brand new car that had never been driven. And I remember pulling up to the place and we're just sitting there laughing at ourselves thinking, wow, they gave us this car 2 months ago. It had 0 kilometers and it was brand new. And there's 18,000 kilometers. There's no muffler. There's a huge dent on the side of the car. And inside, it's filthy. We are really testing that insurance. So we showed up. Okay, here you go, sir. We're in a rush. Anything to sign? Here you go. Okay, grab our stuff. Let's go. And we ran out of there. We got to catch our flight. See you later. Looking back on this, it's actually hilarious to me because it's amazing to think how one thing after another happened. Boom, boom, one after another, just the border, and then Macedonia, Albania, forest fires. It's like, what else are you gonna throw at us? I mean, I could probably do that trip 1,000 times again and never have that string of events happen in that way. And going through it, you know, we kept our sense of humor the whole time.